Hello out there, YouTube. Welcome to the OKGoodReview channel. And today, guys, this is the third part of my model building series, where the first part was I took you through the different kinds of kits. The second part was we went through some of the basic tools that you guys might need if you want to get started on this very awesome hobby by yourself. And finally, guys, I'm going to take you through my setup for this video. So where do we want to start? Let's start from left to right, guys. So here I am. You may have saw my chair, but here I am, guys. This is my actual workstation. So what this is, and I'm going to go through all of this. So a whole kit and caboodle. Let's start with the table, guys. So I took a card table, and I basically got this removable white vinyl to put on top of it. Now, part of this is for filming, but part of it is because I wanted a white point as well, guys, because our vision works with contrast, especially, guys. So the more contrast, guys, that you can have, the easier it is to see things and make sure you're not missing paint getting on certain parts of things and so on, guys. So I prefer this L shape. Over here is my fish tackle box I've converted to holding this. Over there is paint storage. This block I will get to shortly, guys. The styrofoam block, I have two of them. Absolutely recommend, guys, that you get something like that. This particular one, I don't know the actual size of it. I want to say it's maybe a 6x7, 5x7, 6x8, maybe something like that. And the reason for that, guys, I'll show you here shortly. So, but here it is, guys. You can see this is just this vinyl is a removable vinyl, and it protects the table here, guys, from paint, and also gives me the nice white point. Here's where I shot aerosol into it to get enough paint to use as a brush, because I forgot that I actually did have it in one of these. But guys, when this gets too dirty, here's where I put all my stir sticks and stuff. When this gets too dirty, guys, I just simply take it off, throw it away. I could put another one over the top, guys. I probably will do that in the future once I run out of the vinyl I'm currently using. There are a number of vinyls out there, guys. This particular one has air channels. It's little dots of adhesive that are on here. Just make sure whatever you find, you can call a graphic shop, you can call a sign shop, you can go online and look for this. There's many different brands, guys. Just make sure that you find something that is removable. I like the air channels because I can just push all the bubbles out, guys. Do not get permanent unless you really want that to be on your table for the rest of the table's life. This one is a rolling cart. And it's one that I don't recall where I picked it up, but I modified it to put the star of the show's name on it, guys. Right now, I'm using it because I need this sort of L bench. So this is basically it, guys. Between these two, I want to say it's, I don't know, 12, 15 bucks maybe to set that up. So let's get into this. Over here, this might be a lengthy video, guys. I feel it coming on that's going to be, guys, so fair warning. But if you want to see my setup, this is it. We're going to go through everything, stem to stern. So this is the sort of sandpaper emery board. I do have individual pieces of sandpaper. I almost never use them, guys. I almost always just use this. This thing is super, super handy. This, guys, if you saw the video preceding this one, is a must for any level of people who are doing these kits. This is the part nipper, and the idea with this is basically that you can just come in, and we're just going to make a random cut here, guys, and you can see, I'm going to show you this. See, there it is, guys, and there it is. You can just get this nice flat cut by putting the bottom edge against the part, right? So I'm not going to cut this out because I need to paint this still, but this thing has been a marvel, and I actually wonder how I did kits without it. From there, we have the Testors red cement. I like this cement. It's a nice hot cement, guys. What hot means, guys, that is a high solvent content. It attacks the plastic, it softens it up, and it allows me to work in a fairly quick manner, and I can get everything where I want it to be without any kind of delay. Parts don't fall over like that. I love this. On top of that is a mixing tip. This particular one is Testers. Model Masters makes good ones. Basically, guys, anything. Guys, you just basically need to have this tip on there, which will help you precisely put the glue. People, the biggest mistake I see with most modelers is they tend to over glue stuff. And you get glue on anything. In fact, I'll show you. So I got a spot of glue on this, and you can see where it's actually attacked it right there. It's discolored it, even though I wiped it off fairly quick. So, word of the wise, try not to have it go where you don't want it to go. And these tips, again, I don't know how I used to just do it with the metal part, and I don't know how I got anything good. I thought I got some good models when I was younger and doing this. Now I'm questioning if that was true. So over here, this is what I use for stir sticks. These are basically just diamond plastic forks. And so the reason I use these is they're cheap, but they also have this twin fork thing, guys. So one of the ways that I can tell, let me get me one here, I got better contrast. So one of the things, guys, that I can tell when the paint is done is if I put this top part on the lip of the paint and then I flex this slightly like this, if it falls out of here, like if this all runs back in there, I can tell it's about the right consistency for brushing. And so when you get to the bottom of some of these, you have to thin these paints out. These things are very useful to helping me figure that part out. What else do we have over here? Well, we have this thing. Again, so this is a magnifying light. So it's got a light in it, it's got the magnifier. This is what I use for high detail, not only painting, guys, but also gluing. This thing has been another marvel, and I seriously don't know how I ever got anything good without it, because this thing has been just tremendous. This one, I want to say I was $12-15 on Amazon for it, and it's been fine. It has been outstanding, guys. So I hope nothing ever happens to it. If it does, then I'm definitely buying another one. This thing is, in fact, you can also see it lights up well enough that you can even use it for some shooting. So that part is pretty cool, I feel. What else? What's this thing right here, guys? Well, this is a spare parts bin. And I encourage you, I do mostly cars. So the only parts that I keep in that are car parts, something I think I might use. But I've had to dig into there for multiple kits, guys, to either create a part that will go on somewhere, like a exhaust pipe extension or an exhaust pipe or just something like that, guys, filler stuff. There's a lot of really cool things on there, guys. I keep all the rims because sometimes I don't like the rims that come with cars, and I can very easily switch that out. Next, guys, we have this, which is the Testers Optically Clear Glue. Now, the Testers Optically Clear Glue is very useful for things like windshields because it will dry clear, pretty clear. Still not 100% clear, guys. This is not a very hot glue either, so you need to be able to position the part so it does not move if you're using this stuff. Some people only use this stuff. I don't like it well enough to only use this stuff. I think it's great for windows. And that's where it stops. Okay, paints is a whole different discussion. We'll get to that later. This is a file. And I think this came with a kit that I bought. I love this thing, not so much for the file, for this end. Because I can press this down, it doesn't stick to things, so I can hold things in place. It's a little funky, but that's the way I use it most of the time. I have two tweezers. I have this one, which is a straight one, and I have this one, which is the angled one. The angled one I almost never honestly use, guys. There's just really not any need for me to ever use it most of the time. The straight one, though, I use all the time. Every single kit I build, this is in it. And in fact, guys, most of what you see on the table right now is stuff that I use in every single kit, except for the masking tape. That's only in some of them, of course. But okay, so tweezers, that file, the scissors, if I'm doing decals, the scissors, This is not part of my actual kit. It's just there because of the preceding videos. It's good to have the scissors. You need one of those. Definitely these two. Definitely that lamp. Definitely that glue. Definitely those. Assuming I'm painting the stir sticks right there, guys. Let's see. What do we have here? Okay, so this is Tamiya masking tape. I also have some 3M painter's tape. And I have more of the Tamiya. I like the Tamiya. I don't love it. I love this painter's tape. This stuff, this is 3/4, biggest thing I have. It actually is honestly too big, but that thing is just, I love that painter's tape, guys. So if you're painting, painter's tape is a good thing to have. Let me finish though, before I get too far into the rest of this, with the rest of what's on the table. We have this. This is just an X-Acto knife. Nothing special here. These things, I think you need a knife of some kind. It doesn't have to be X-Acto. I've used a couple different kinds of knives. One of them got dull and I had to toss it. The X-Actos work as well as anything. They're pretty readily available. It's just handy to have sometimes. I don't use it on every kit. Certainly. I just use it a lot of times. It'll help me to kind of nudge things, to kind of cut things. It's just good to have one of those because you never quite know when you're going to need something like that, and they do come in handy. So in addition to the parts bin, I also have this, which is a lot of the decals from other builds that I just didn't use. I keep these around because you never know. Sometimes these are handy, and there's flames there and other stuff, and sometimes that stuff is kind of cool to put on just different vehicles. I don't know, maybe I'll even put it on this plane. I'm trying to think of this. I'm doing a Harley Quinn plane right now, guys. It's the Tamiya Thunderbolt P47. You can watch that video as well. But so this block, this is what I used to paint on, my painting block. And the reason I use this is because it fits nicely underneath this lamp. I can put the lamp on top of it, just like so, and look through it, guys, and get the detail work I want. It's a nice white contrast. Plus, it's perfect enough that I can steady my hand in there to do the miniature detail that I need to do. You can see there's a couple glue spots here. It's styrofoam, which means the glue attacks it if I get glue on it. But that block is just awesome, guys. I used a couple different things before I settle on this block. This block has worked by far the best, guys. So get some sort of block. I personally prefer styrofoam because I don't really care that it's disintegrating. For me, that white point and just the height of it is super ideal. Okay, guys, so let's come over here and let's take a look. This tackle box is obviously for fishing. I used to store paints in there. I don't any longer, so all that's in there is mixing tips. There's some tape. We've already talked about those things. This is a white marker that I bought accidentally. I don't actually use that. I might use it on a future thing. I don't know. Most of what's in here now is not stuff I regularly use on kits, but we're still going to go through because it's good to have. So we haven't got to the paint discussion, but there's extra brushes. We talked about that. This is another sanding thing. This is too fine. I don't actually use this for anything. In fact, I probably could toss it. Clamps. Okay, so clamps, guys, you will come across, if you do these long enough, one of the kits that will need some persuasion. And I've had this happen with a lot of different kinds, and this one is, you set the pressure. One of the important things is, you can see, guys, it has a little bit of this, but it's a very soft plastic, so it will not leave marks on your car. This, guys, is actually, I wish I would have had this when I was building model kits before. Fortunately, I don't need to use it every time, but I've had to use them enough that I'm glad I have it. Here we have brushes, more brushes, and what else is in here? Sandpaper, and we have dividers, and this is just stuff that I don't actually use for anything. A little bit extra thinner in there. So that stuff is more like extra things. That brushes I haven't tried, things like that, guys. This is about the only thing that I really actually use somewhat regularly when I'm doing kits, and those are must-haves. The rest of this is just storage, bonus stuff. Stuff like this, I don't know what I'm going to do with. At some point it'll take up too much room and I'll toss it, but so there's that. Now over here, guys, let's get into the paint. Let's talk about the paint. Now, I do have an airbrush. I don't have a compressor yet as I film this video. So this might be changing. I might be doing a how you paint video as part of this series coming up as well. But the biggest mistake I made was, you can see right there where it's silver inside that drawer. So one of these things I didn't get sealed all the way, and I used to store them on their sides. Honestly, it's a really dumb way of storing these guys, and I used to fight the caps all the time. So I got this. This is basically the same bin as I use for my parts bin. Cost $2-3, and it keeps all my paints upright, and that thing is, I should have done that to begin with, guys. You can also get a deeper tray. But, so right now, let's see, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27. I've got about 27 different paints right now, guys. I can't fit that many in here anyway, without putting them on their side. So this one, I actually have room. I could probably get 30 paints in there pretty readily. So these little bins, 30 paints is a lot. You're going to wind up with a lot of paint, which is good because once I get to airbrushing, I'll have practice paint to use. But this thing, I'll tell you, a lot of people don't think of those things. The spinners are cool too. If I could find a spinner that I actually liked, I would probably use that. But I can put a lid on this. I can stack this somewhere else, guys. In the winter, I don't do a whole ton of models because I can't actually spray aerosol easily. And that might change just depending on what happens with the airbrushing project. But for right now, I can't spray the aerosols during winter. So this gets put up a lot of the time for a few months, and that really works well because I can compartmentalize everything. Continuing on with our paint theme, not everybody does this, but I use both. I use all three of these. So I like the testers for certain things, particularly their steel guys. The Model Masters I can't get away from. I love the paint. I love the colors for the most part. I don't like the jars. These jars are a pain. But I think the paint is great. So testers and Model Masters are the solvent paints. So what you need for solvent paints is some nice thinner. What I use is two of these little things. Step 1, wipe. Step 2, soak, wipe. And that has helped me stay out of destroying a lot of brushes. I mean, they still will over time. Using solvent paint will tend to attack the brushes themselves, but it's been a pretty good method so far, guys. Over there we have just a juice glass of water. That is for the Tamiya. I also use Tamiya water-based paints, guys. So I like these caps a lot. I love the colors for the most part of those, except for their white. I don't think their white is any good. So once that white is gone, I'm going to be probably not ever using Tamiya white again. So what we have there is rinse, wipe, soak, and then I rinse them out under running water, guys, at the end when I'm done with everything. I keep a lot of colors. 27 to 30 colors is a lot, in my view. When I was doing it initially, I had maybe 5 or 6. Black is still definitely the heaviest of all of them, of course, but I don't have a huge preference on brushes. I've got Virtuosos in there. What else have I got in here? What else did I show you guys? I've got Virtuosos, Royal and Long Nickels. I've got Tamiyas. I've got Model Masters. I've got Testers. The only brush that I keep on hand, as a matter of course, because I love those brushes, is the area brushes, and it is this. It is this Testers wedge sort of thing, and these things are awesome for coverage, guys. So when I want to do coverage of something, that is the brush I use if I'm not going to do an aerosol or airbrush. I like to hand paint, guys. So the airbrushing will go faster. I'm sure it probably will. And I'm looking forward to trying that out, that experiment. But I gotta be honest with you guys, I dig hand painting, guys. So there's something about the brushwork that I just really, really enjoy, guys. So, but outside of that, guys, you can see right now I'm using about 10 different brushes. Some of these are in the point of wearing out. Once they wear out, I'll replace them with something else, except for this. Not having these on hand actually irritates me, so I probably have 30 brushes right now, guys, and about 12 of them are this, just because I don't ever want to run out of them. Okay, guys, there it is. I'm not going to do a list because most of the stuff is on the preceding first two videos, guys, where there are lists. Also, this is very fluid. Stuff changes in the air a lot, guys. If, however, you would like to see a list, leave me a comment, guys, and maybe I will put something in the description if you guys really want to have something like that. Like I said, it changes a lot. I was at one point going to go exclusively to Tamiya paints. I've gone away from that. I shoot all 3 aerosols. I hand paint all 3 styles, guys. I think they all have their own different strengths and weaknesses. There's some colors I prefer in one over the other, but really, and that's kind of what it comes down to, guys. That's kind of like the big secret here. All the paint companies, guys, would love to have you exclusively use their product, guys, but I'll tell you this. Having tried some of these main ones, there is not one that does everything perfectly. So a little grain of salt, guys, when one of these guys is saying, well, just shoot all this. The easiest thing to do so as not to have solvent stuff around is probably to use Tamiya, though, because it's water-based. And the only downside to there is towards the end of those, they can get a little funky in the jars, so you're probably going to have to thin them. I don't have any Tamiya thinner. I just use either water or isopropyl alcohol for that. The white is not very good. The other downside to that, for convenience, guys, if you have to use just one, I would strongly consider Tamiya. A lot of people say it doesn't brush well. I disagree. I think it brushes great. And the majority of paints I have at the moment are probably Tamiyas, just because I really, really like the way a lot of that stuff lays down, especially in areas. But again, a lot of that comes down to personal preference. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up, guys, for this third installment. This is my own personal setup. Guys, I'd be interested to hear from some of you as to what your setups are, guys. So feel free to leave a comment, guys, if you would care to. Hopefully, though, guys, you have enjoyed this look at my setup down here. And this includes everything. This is a whole area, my whole work area. Even including, guys, there is a filming light up there. Guys, if you did, please give us the old thumbs up, guys. Hit the red subscribe button, guys, if you've not done so already, guys. Blue bell next to the red subscribe button. If you'd like to be notified of the latest, greatest content as it comes available, guys, this will be in the model builds playlist. There's a lot of stuff in the model builds playlist, guys. If that's of interest to you, definitely feel free to check through all of that, which gets into the specific builds as well, guys. You can also follow us on our Twitter feed, which is where the finished models get put in displays. So I don't put that in the videos. The actual builds are in the YouTube videos, but the display itself is generally just on Twitter, guys. Feel free to follow us there, guys, if you care to. Again, comments, guys. Did I leave anything out? What else would you recommend, guys? I am absolutely an amateur at this. I still have fail models. There's people that do this professionally, from what I've understood. I don't think I would ever be one of those. I don't think I'm good enough for that. A lot of my stuff is display driven. I do modify a lot of my stuff. My main motivation is fun, guys, and coolness. So I'm not trying to recreate anything specifically exactly. A lot of people do. And you know, great, good for them. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that is as valid, guys, as what I'm doing. I'm definitely more of an hobbyist. So kind of, guys, keep that in your back pocket. If you're coming up with the question, oh, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing that? A lot of that is because of that reason. But guys, I get comments all the time on YouTube. We get comments. I get a lot more comments in real life when people want to talk about some of the custom stuff I've done. But definitely, guys, love the questions, love the conversation. Feel free to shoot any of those comments this way, guys. I would love to do that. If you guys want to see me talk to you about some of the painting techniques that I try to use, some of the stuff that I do, leave that in the comments as well, guys. If you want a list of all the stuff that you've seen here, guys, I can put that in the description. If anybody's interested, it's not in the video as of right now, but I can definitely add it in the descriptions, guys, if I get enough comments for it. Anyway, though, guys, that's going to do it for us this time. We will see you all next time. Bye-bye.